Let us pray. Almighty God, we ask for your blessing and wisdom upon this Parliament. Direct and prosper our proceedings to the peace and welfare of the people of Solomon Islands. We ask this in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. Parliament resumes. Honourable members, this morning we are graced with the presence of a delegation from the Parliament of Australia, House of Representatives, Representative Standing Committee on Primary Industries, who are visiting as part of the Pacific Committee Exchange Program. And they are seated in the gallery are Ms. Marilyn Swanson, MP, member for Patterson Chair. Mr. Jamie Shafe, MP, member for Parks, Deputy Chair. Ms. Trish Cook, MP, member for Bullwickle, and Dr. Joel Bateman, Committee Secretary. Again, please welcome our guests and let us begin today's business.
Bills, Committee of Supply, the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025.
Honourable members, the House will resolve into the Committee of Supply to continue consideration of the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Thank you, honourable members. We are now in the Committee of Supply to consider the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Today is the final day allotted for the Committee of Supply on the Appropriation Bill. I therefore call on all members to be mindful of the time and confine your questions and comments to the policy of the service for which the money is to be provided as stated in Standing Order 64.3. And we will henceforth continue where we left off yesterday. And yesterday, I think we left off with the Head 12, National Parliament of Solomon Islands. It was proposed that the sum of $119,625,542 for Head 12 stand part of the schedule. For those members who were present yesterday, you may have noted that we've concluded the debate on this head, and I will therefore straight on call for the committee to consider the allocation as is normally underway. So,
just a point of order,
sorry,
Mr.
Honourable Leader.
Yes, seeing that the Honourable Prime Minister is back, and any headway, any answer for him, just give me 1 minute for me refreshing him a little bit with issues yesterday and the committee budget. If you can allow me just one comment, and he could comment in
just a comment, because we have deliberated on that head yesterday and are ready to take the vote on it. But it's just for the information of the Prime Minister, not for any questions, not any response.
You're very gracious, Mr. Chairman.
Hurry up, thank you.
As always. So yesterday, we told a story a little bit around the restructure program, Lo Palme, and the Minister of Finance, you will discuss with him later, made some commitments, and this matter has been delayed now twice, and so we would appreciate it being, maybe Minister made the commitment that before even supplementary budget next year, that the positions can be funded. And also the submission for contracted positions. There was a 2.7 million cut on those, and we need those for officers here, Law Parliament. So those commitments were made yesterday. The matter was, as you would be aware from our discussion for this year's budget last year, that it was postponed. So those commitments were made by the Minister of Finance. As Minister responsible, of course, I would like you to fulfill those commitments. My one other comment, sir, is with regards to the committee's budget. The submission was 8 million, and only 1 million was granted. And that budget, maybe for committees to function in Parliament, but also for outreach, committee outreach, when committees go out for inquiries. We've been struggling with funding for example, minerals bill going out, and the argument coming back from ministries is, well, Parliament should fund it. We are separate from Parliament. Well, you can't use that argument if you're not granting us that kind of allocation. So ordinarily, we would like to see amendments to these two on these two issues, but we agreed yesterday we won't push for those amendments, making me move a little bit more efficiently. But if there are commitments to restore 8 million to committees, and then on the public service matter, as Finance made the commitments yesterday, that would be sufficient. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those observations, comments. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me thank the Leader of Opposition for those views and those points. And I would also like to take the opportunity to thank the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance who stood in for me while I was away yesterday. Yes, Chairman, we'll go along with the work of our legislature is critical, both in terms of its administration, but also the work of the parliamentary committees. So I would like to assure the Leader of Opposition of the House that we will work closely with the Minister of Finance as well as the Minister of Public Service in terms of the staff restructure and reforms, so that we can. The neater way of doing it is to go through the supplementary budget process, as the Minister has alluded to yesterday. So we'll do that, both for the staff restructure as well as additional funding for the parliamentary committees. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. With that, let me now put the question. The question is that the sum of $119,625,542 for Head 12 stands part of the schedule. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The sum of $119,625,542 for Head 12 now stands part of the schedule. Our next head for consideration is Head 13, Ministry of Forestry and Research. It is proposed that the sum of $25,697,768 for Head 13 stand part of the schedule. If any member wishes to comment on this head, the details on pages 278 to 87 of the draft recurrent estimates, and the PAC's findings, Public Accounts Committee findings, and the recommendations of the head on pages 99 to 104 of the PAC report on this bill. And the approach again will be based on the approach we took yesterday, and to consider this, its head as contained in the brick, and I will refer to especially the pages that are applicable, and then for you, any member who is to comment on those pages, and especially on what that page represents in terms of the department or of the ministry. So we'll go by that same arrangement as we did yesterday. So if any member wishes to comment, please refer to those pages, and let me start by referring the committee to any comments, firstly on pages 278 and 279. It's to do with the central headquarters and administration of the ministry. Any comments on those two pages? So thank you, Honourable MP for North New Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you look lo brick and lo bill, amount lo brick is lower than the amount lo bill. But we will be voting on the amount that is presented in the bill. My question now is, where now this will a shortfall of about 100,000 by him go? You say him not catered for law, okay, the details law revenue or especially expenditure. Him no more question lo me. That will extra by him go where? Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Member, for use of reference, perhaps especially for the Minister, to respond to that. Any reference you can make to the item on the budget, on the estimates?
Thank you, Chair. Him law. Paragraph of covering page blame now. I forgot him now.
We're starting with pages 278 and 279.
It's on page 277.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's a summary page,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
On the summary page, is it on the total expenditure or payroll charges? Which one of those? What salaries? For the benefit of the Minister. Which one? Can you repeat your question again, I think?
If, Chair, if you look at the total expenditure estimate for 2026, he made 25,584,943. That's the brick. Lobil, he made different figure. There is a difference of about 100,000. We are now 100,000 by Golo Hem. That is the question. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Chair, and I do appreciate the concern, especially in relation to figures from the bill and the bricks. I think I draw the member thing. There's some errors, especially with the bricks in terms of how the printing has been picked up, so which is by not affecting the bill. No? So I think something that we can, because very important now for Parliament, especially the committee to pass the bill, but the bricks, because like the members mentioned, about around difference of 100,000, which is the error mainly because that's similar with the bricks, the way the system that we used to print the brick that sometimes picking up wrongly. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Any other comments on that, Honourable Minister for Forests and Research?
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, MP for Northern Georgia, for the question. Yes, there's an error there, as said by the Finance Minister. The total budget for that should be $25,697,768. That should be the right amount, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. So the Honourable MP for East Choiso.
Thank you. So when we're voting bill, so we can be assured that the figure of bill is correct and take him out. That should be all right. Bricks can be corrected later on. So if we can be assured of that, then we shall move.
Yeah, thank you, Honourable MP for East Choiso. That's correct. The schedule, the bill, that's what we are voting on, and that's what's reflected in my statement. And the estimates, of course, that can be done, but we are voting on the schedule, not on the estimates, as it were. Thank you for your understanding. Any further comments on that head? Pages. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, we move Lord now issue. I'm just wondering, Chairman, whether, I was thinking the other day, this whole Ukraine war, Ukraine war, emi ogat using Starlink, ogat studying terrain lo Ukraine go, no mat si multiri lo side lo river, ogat count them too. And I'm just wondering whether that kind of technology will enable us to have a more accurate and up-to-date stock take of forestry stock Bloyumi. I know there's been some work done, I think, a few years ago. I had a look at it once. For example, lo uulae inside longo Quila, inside lo this fella stock report there, because I'm banned there for round log exports. You're supposed to have a lot of it, but there's precious little of it left. So what stock information we have is really out of date and quite misleading. As you know, Mr. Chairman, we had a lot of problems where rosewood, vitex, Quila were being exported as mixed red and mixed white. This has been, done with in complicity below officers no over many, many years. So this one I have result of this mismatch between the stock report and what's actually in the ground. So let me ask also whether it might be an important initiative or ministry thing around and making a more accurate stock information, which would then inform policy going forward. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Leader of Opposition. Again, perhaps if I stress again, if when you are raising a point of policy in relation to the allocations, I'm referring to the pages so that you can bring those, pinpoint the issues you bring out as it relates to the figures in those pages. So in a way, perhaps if you look at the distribution of the functions under that ministry, we would just consider that first one is a summary. That's why we consider. Now the next page is actually page on central and admin headquarters. If you have any comments on those pages, then go. Otherwise, the next one is, of course, the office, the utilization unit. That's the next subject on those pages. So the issue that you raised, where would you connect it to in terms of allocation of resources to meet those issues? Thank you, Honorable Leader.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm related to every page. Yeah, I mean, this is very good policy to have. And headquarter and admin are the thinkers. They're the thinkers of policy. So I'm legitimately a matter that ought to be considered, Mr. Chairman. So you allow Minister to answer me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Tabu. I'm best Tabu Lomina. Everyone here. Thank you for that question. That question is very important because it relates to how we monitoring and managing the forestry in the Garen. At the moment, the ministry and work within JICA and see if we can resource some help from Okata in order to try to manage, especially monitoring of logs and try to see what kind of species. I mean, it's still Garen on the land. So we are currently working with JICA on that issue. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Leader of Opposition.
Thank you. When was the last stock take for stock done? And this JICA program, when should we expect results to come out with what time I'm complete?
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader. Yes, we are working on it right now, and as soon as there's green light from JICA, we will continue with the policy within the ministry. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yes, just further clarification. You're working on it right now. I mean, you've already drawn a proposal for Tekemojaka, or you're working as in you're doing the stock take now? The question to me is what time are you expecting results to come out? What can complete so that we can see clearly policy going forward? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader, for supplementary question. Yes, we are collecting data from satellites at the moment. So once that is done, we will, of course, implement that, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Yeah, thank you. How many logging operations are still active throughout the country? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you once again, Leader, for question 77. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Thank you, sir. You know, for many, many years, this, we've become for revenue, we've become very dependent on this fella industry. But of course, as we have known all along, Barawa unsustainable. And it continues to be unsustainable, even though harvest rates are now close to half what they were. So my next question is really one of trying to see whether we have the will to make sure Yumigolo sustainable harvest rates. And what is that? What is the sustainable harvest rate where government has set a policy? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader, for that question. Again, the sustainable harvesting rate is 300,000 cubic per annum. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader, what page are you on?
Central headquarters, admin,
okay.
Because it's all policy. So we have a sustainable harvest rate of 300,000 cubic meters a year. We've been harvesting at 3 million cubic meters a year. It's now down this year, should be maybe 1.6. If we know good too much, 1.9, we'll go for 2 million cubic meters. We continue on this pathway. We're totally unsustainable, but it seems we have no will to make the changes necessary to bring this industry into sustainable practices, but also the continuing efforts where Minister of Finance talked about the other day in diversifying revenue sources, block government. So it seems that effort really has gone nowhere. We are only being forced, the downward pressure on harvest rates is being forced by the lack of stock below 400 meters, as opposed to political will on the executive's part to make the decisions that matter. Perhaps it's a question for Prime Minister and Minister of Finance to answer. When are we going to make a decision on this matter? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader, for that question. Yes, as we know, as I speak, logging is still #1 earning revenue for country of Bolivia. And I don't know how we will deal with that because if we are talking about sustainable harvesting, I can say that no anything in Australia, there's no sustainable logging in our country. We still rely on revenue and come from logging. So it's up to the government to find other options for Yumi balancing that fella, a proposition. But the ministry, we will travel look downstreaming and other avenues where we could earn revenue for the country. But otherwise, unless and until there's other means of earning revenue for the country, logging ban is still on that rate. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
It's a depressing response, Mr. Chairman. I was hoping that if 300,000 cubic meters a year was processed more than 50% it would add value whereby much greater than 3 million cubic meters of round logs. Surely that's the pathway to take. But it would require certain investments and it would require certain incentives for alarm industry to move in that direction. That has to be the direction we take, but it needs a deliberate choice, a policy choice, where we will have to, suffer the consequences in the short term, but it would pay off in the midterm. So that's the kind of resolve we're looking for, and it's obvious government hasn't made any decision on this, and we just allow it to go, and just close down by itself. It seems it's going to be by default that this industry will eventually meet its end, its collapse. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me thank the Leader of Opposition for those very important observations. We'll take that on board and we'll get our policy evaluation unit to work closely with the Ministry of Forestry and, of course, Finance and bring a paper to Cabinet on the options going forward in terms of the forestry sector. But thank you for that important point. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable MP for East Malaita.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm on page 281.
Beg your pardon,
Page 281.
Yes, please go ahead.
On the development and reforestation, just like Minister for Informed House, this is a very, after logging and all this, cutting down all the trees, we need to know reforestation of the replanting. I just want to know, Mr. Chairman, the Minister, if you could inform the House, how many logging companies are doing reforestation at the moment? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, MP, for East Malaita for the whole question. That is a very important question. As we know that reforestation is important. Unfortunately, at the moment, there is no company doing that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Honourable Member for East Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, what is Egon Companies doing? So I've heard that Egon is working on reforestation. So I just want to know, how is Egon operating? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, MP, for East Malaita. Yes, Egon is doing that. They are doing reforestation and Winnie as well. So I think that's the company that is engaged in the reforestation. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Tresol.
Again, Mr. Chairman, this whole area, but I'm trying to give me losing battle them, and I think every government that have come to power, you may grapple a bit with this whole matter. And so, in terms of reforestation law, what a customary line, yeah? Minister confirmed that no any logging company actually actively doing reforestation. Well, you really need to, I guess, look seriously at that one and come up back with policies for having logging companies take responsibility for reforestation. We used to have what you call them the timber levy during my permanent secretary days in we got him that one, and that's something is pointed out by the member for small Malaita. Something, yeah, having a use for reforestation now. So we might need to revisit things like that, some policies like that for Ministry of so-called logging companies that take responsibility financing reforestation. Suppose Norma, but also Norma 9. So we are concerned about, of course, over-harvesting and sustainable harvesting, but reforestation need to go ahead. there are, I think, other policy initiative that was taken, downstream processing. One of them is 8% requirement. I even saw how that one go, Mr. Chairman. So we might probably get him, the Minister, for informing me about this 8% policy. Also, where is it? How is it working? Normal. But I think the policy to get logging companies themselves directly funding reforestation is probably a policy direction that you need to go down there. Revisit this timber levy policies that I'm no longer there, because I mean we collected money, but then we just basically go and sell consolidated funds, so it is used for funding anything, and kept in a special fund to assist over the landowners for reforestation. So we may need to revisit that, but we appreciate that this is a struggle for every government that have been in power. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments, Honourable MP for East Tresor. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for the full question. Yes, of course, reforestation, we are, my ministry working on a policy on that, and of course it will be captured under the new, not the new, but the Amendment Forestry Act by NCAM. It's not before Cabinet. In terms of the 8% downstream processing, we are amending that regulation. Obviously, because it's very ambiguous. The regulation does not say who takes ownership of the 8% downstream. Excuse me. What it basically says is, if you have a license, you must allocate 8% of the total export of logs to a mill if you don't have. That's all what the regulation is saying, but it doesn't say who owns the timbers. Maybe the intention is there for the landowners to own those timbers, but it's not clear on the regulation. So there are court cases coming up in the high courts specifically on that. So we are working on amendments to ensure it's clear and concise on that 8% down processing. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East RRS, turn of the East.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you, Minister. Just on the reforestation, and particularly Form 4 of the, I think, applicant's final stage of before licenses are perhaps given. Does it refer to anything reforestation in those legal documents, forms, and particularly Form 4 in particular? Because if that's the case, then perhaps it's moved beyond policy issue, and it's in part of our laws that they stand with regards to reforestation. So I know there's a few forms you go through in the process of hearing, but I think Form 4 is the final one. Just wanted to know whether reforestation is mentioned already in that form. Thanks.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, MP for East Arare. Yes, as you rightly mentioned, there are many forms. Form 1, of course, that's the application for timber right. Form 2 is the determination of timber rights, and then we go for Form 4, that's the standard logging agreement. Unfortunately, reforestation doesn't cover under the Form 4. It's covered under the license. It's one of the conditions under the license that is issued to the licensee. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Arare.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you, Minister, for that. So given that it's covered under the license, there is perhaps right for redress even through the courts if conditions of the license for reforestations are not met. If that's the case, then how many court cases have there been in terms of particular licenses where such an obligation has not been fulfilled? Thanks.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you once again, MP for East Arare. We do not have any update on the data as to how many cases end up in the courts in breach of the conditions of the license. But there are, of course, cases in the High Court challenging the conditions that are stipulated under the failing licenses. But to inform this House on how many, I don't have the data with me at the moment. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Honourable MP for West Arare.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Minister. Me follow up normal question lo East Arare. Since it's a condition law license for reforestation, law ministry, how many license now? You may cancel them or you follow cancel them because of no sabe meet him now that the requirement or license for planting or Appropriation. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chairman, thank you, MP for West Arare, for that question. Yes, it's a condition in the license. However, the process for cancellation, you have to raise a complaint to the Commissioner of Forest. If you see that there is a breach on the conditions in the license, somebody has to write a complaint to the Commissioner of Forest, and the Commissioner of Forest will issue what they call a notice to show cause to the company. And the company will respond. If the commissioner is not satisfied, he will suspend that license. And then, of course, appeal come to the minister responsible, whose decision is final and conclusive. So it's a right given to the people, but you have to exercise that right. Otherwise, it will still remain there. At the moment, we do not have any record on that for this year. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable MP for West Arare.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Minister. I was of the thinking that your ministry has monitoring units that they monitor your license conditions. But you tell them come here, worry block at land owner no, for at now complain and do more something. So that was my assumption that your ministry carrying that responsibility to also monitor that license you follow issue. Okay, for follow on my that's just a comment. My question. Lo page 279 lo electricity lo mito lo page hemi para go down no good supplementary hemi come up if there is any mistake lo this for budget chairman me like for ask him no minister for hemi clarify come lo committee because 2024 actuals hemi 1 million then lo 2025 1.3 million then hemi go down 900,000. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, MP for West Arare. We have electricity and go down, obviously because last year we've all got them now at the arrears. This time I'm straight now, so next year I may come back to the normal charges. That is why I'm low for next year's budget. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Any further comments on those heads? Honourable MP for West Arare.
Thank you, Chairman. Me move law utilization unit, law page 280. Chairman, Minister for helping me for me comforted information. Hemi come about the track support come okata Lucasia. Information me receiving is that okata staff noma okata sharing okata Lucas and I think I'm no PAC that the project him I was there project him come ministry work lo him but the me follow okata constituency we wait noma and information him live with disappointing that okata man lo ministry noma him alerts that okata noma sharing okata Lucas if you say help him committee to get the right information, Minister. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you once again, MP, for West Arare. Yes, you may thank JICA for the full support. Last year, they have provided 67 portable sawmills. And how far you get them? It's just an open application that I'm open for everybody, including the public. Yeah? So if you apply them, there's a committee by them sit down and then screen them who know, but approve them. Of course, and based on conditions. You have to satisfy certain conditions before allocating or awarding you those portable sawmills. So it's an open door policy. Anyone can apply, committee sit down and award him water sawmills. So from our ministry, we are yet to receive this confirmation already for another lot of portable sawmills to be provided. Once that is ready, we will put it out in public so that everybody shall apply for this year's allocation by JICA. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for West Arare.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Minister, for explanation you given. Is there testing as conflict of interest that imtal maintain imtal wakaman look after that project here? Or no good imtal save imtal first number? Then okata people imtal behind meeting okata law ministries, public offices. In such a situation, they will certainly observe conflict of interest principle and hemblo okata lotuman too. Because wakaimta must swim with him honesty, credibility and integrity. And if okata officer open number for saving mokat first time, then by him the problem now. That is not the case, Minister, if you can confirm that to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and once again, thank you, MP for West Arare. Of course, conflicts of interest. We cannot dispute that. Every human beings, we are susceptible to that. But I believe the process where I come through him, by filtering those things. So the idea to have the portable sawmills dispatched by the ministry, we will try to go back with JICA and make him independent. But let's say no more, by him go through the forestry ministry. So we have to trust our officers that the decision, the judgment they give, sort of like minimizing a little bit conflict of interest. We are human, of course. Those things, but we believe the officers will be transparent and accountable in their decisions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
So which officers now inside law develop a committee where we screen him and determine him with awards?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader, for question. Those inside the committee now are the senior management team under the Ministry of Forest. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Sem Lucas 8 for Lucas Milliam go normal senior management team. And I would therefore assume that August 1 man make him decisions here now. Okay, take this one him smell no good. This is worse than conflict of interest.
Thank you, Honourable Leader. Honourable Minister, any comments on the observation?
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader, for me being not answer me a lot of time because I have no information on that, to be honest. Otherwise, I will try my best for the next supply so that we ensure they are distributed properly. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Malaita.
Thank you, Chairman. I just rise to thank the Minister of Forestry for supporting all constituencies. I know all constituencies, or some follow miss, but I know everyone taking more sawmills and several private people. So me just like to thank you, Minister, for your program during the past years. East Malaita has received one, and my people have benefited from it, Mr. Chairman. Yeah. Before cut him what housing project, yeah, give him a lot of people, skeletons. Where him hard, timber him hard. So I just rise up to say thank you very much, Minister, for continued support on the sawmills through donor partners that are funding those sawmills. So, I mean, I just want to see leader opposition, West Area has raised some issues that they may look in how things implement accountability or transparency level. But I have seen that many of us here, we are receiving those sawmills. Yeah, many of us here, and also other people outside. Because Minister, time what talem come for me apply or them open one, yeah. So me just rise up no more here to say thank you to the Minister on behalf of my people of East Malaita that we have received one and we have supplied timber to our constituent. So I think I'm normally like a rise for talem. We look forward more, Chairman, Minister, if some we need more some. Yeah, yeah, we need more. If one or two more, yeah, by constituency himself, operating yeah, everyone by Garam housing very fast. Yeah, but with that one chair, I thank the minister for and his ministry for supplying to our constituency. So that one will rise for comment and thank him, Minister, for that one. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, MP for East Malaita. Yeah, me too, on behalf of me, thanking JICA for their support. I think it's a good policy, and I will bring a budget on that for next year or the following year. If I must support him, for him going to downstreaming. Yeah, Tabu, also, because that's the way forward. And we will bring a budget to this parliament for him, at least him going to downstream. Not only one, maybe 2 or 3 portable sawmills. And government bring must pay him. You know, JICA, no more. So you expect that to come up in the next budget. But thank you, MP, for East Malaita on that. We will ensure fair distribution this time. I noted the comments that you follow my peers, and I will make sure I put my hands on it to ensure and to make sure that there's fair and equal distribution of what is coming. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you. I want to echo the sentiments of East Malaita. Thank you. Sampal Loyuval constituencies taken. Mival Sampal no more, but we thank you anyway. That should not take from the fact that the process has to be fair. I'm not arguing, so you must give him 2 valor. You give him 2, yeah, but you know, give him me hallelujah no. We praise the Lord no more. But the process now must clear and must clean. When senior management or Garam 2 valor Lucas mil each or take 1 no more. Em spelling name government. Spelling name there are bigger issues more now. It's worse than a conflict of interest. And they may have used other names of family members or friends for you to him. Even then, I'm still wrong too. So that matter needs to be sorted out. But for continue, or good something, you may Aaron Barrow like him. So you must not confuse him. That me take him, so therefore him all right. No more. Me take him, but him no all right. That has to be fixed. It's important. But for the record, me not take him, was Arad not take him. South New Georgia no more too. North you take too. I say. I'm not saying nothing. Me will decide no anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader. The Lucas Mill water distribution last time, it's for the public. So it's up for you, MP, for you apply. So if you don't apply, but no more to you. But I'm trying my best now, those ones who have come, instructing my peers to deal with JICA, to at least increase the portable sawmills. Recently, we've distributed 67 sawmills here, and I'm at 30 horsepower. At the moment, it's 230,000 per portable sawmill. for 30 horsepower. Nah. So me instructing PS when me say, you reduce call 18 horsepower. Easy to carry the bus, yeah, and then around 100,000 normal for one. So we are expecting maybe, if Jaga agree on that, then maybe 100 plus sawmills now, but give him come because 18 horsepower only and then 100,000 per one. So hopefully by then, we might come up with, okay, one farm for each constituency, yeah, 50 and the 50 open for public. Something else, but that one might come later, but just for information of the House now. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable MP for West Are.
Thank you, Chairman. Since me come up first with him question or the request, yeah, me also like for joining Mr. Are and leader of the opposition for. Thank you, Ministry. Thank you, Minister, for good work. Downstream processing. How for you me to him na kim ko lokatalang online or something. So me thank you, Ministry, Chairman, for continuing with him programs and projects. Before me to talk because time he okat something ka kamlo Ministry okat kim come straight no more okat constituencies. Hem kam okat serim okat change ona me talk lo hem ya. Before na hem ka something hem policy change now. And change. But before time me start come with him parliament and constituency, Ministry him to him keep him normal law every constituency say you this one. But change of policy him come. And so me just ask no more for information, but him no sakakasi me fala okay honorable me was sample sit down quite no more me fala no sabe run too much after okay something because there is a system we expect for him worker and him give him to look at the information and advise him to also him to look at honorable member because him to represent him the constituencies. But thank you for that information and me thank you for that good program, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions on those pages? Page 283, any comment on that page? National Herbarium and Botanical Gardens. Thank you, Honorable Leader of Opposition.
Just below page 281, plantation development and reforestation. What activity is happening under law, plantation development and reforestation?
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader, for question. We have carried out at small scale reforestation, not at small communities. So we are providing with expert opinions located to. I am no market on that for now. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Leader.
Yeah, thank you, sir. This fellow division, sir, I mean, one fellow where you mean mass investment. I think my sense of government policy of this very important sector is you may let go normal him by him die natural death here, but we mustn't allow it to die. Very important sector is the forestry sector, yeah. And you must go 100% processing. You know processing where you cut them timber no more, processing, but I have no enough processing. Processing was we must go of furniture, we must go of boutique kind value adding. Have no you mean like him. So our policy law, this one has really been quite lethargic at best, absent-minded at worst. We know we had a plywood factory outlaw, Henderson Lunga somewhere, that was doing veneer. We gave it no support. And Gogo, it had to close down. It had issues of not getting enough supply, issues of capitalization, issue of blowing, but we could have, we could have supported it. Power and too expensive. There are issues we could have supported to address it. That's the way we must go, but we're not doing it. I'm not just matter for Ministry of Forestry, this one. I'm overall policy. And then upon this for plantation development, reforestation to what it was before. Extension officers. We need them in all constituencies. Planting good native trees. Not just teak and, I mean, teak good quality too, and eucalyptus and osem, but plant them back, fataye, aquaye, or what native tree, we plant them back. But the research must go into how we do it, and there's plantation husbandry and osem. So I look at this and I am a little bit depressed. You may suddenly go down to 300,000 a year and be earning more. You know, at its peak, this sector was contributing 700 million to government revenues a year. And you mean selenia, you mean or reinvest in the sector. You mean take no more him and leave him no more also. And now we're reaping the benefits of that gross neglect. But it's not too late. It's not too late. We're still getting some revenue. Let's pump 200 million into this sector, but we need a clear-cut vision for this and a clear-cut strategy for it over the next 5 years. We can do it, and this sector will be sustainable into the next hundreds of years. A renewable resource here, but the way we're exploiting it also no care attitude. So I make me a little bit depressed. So plantation is very important, the species is very important, reforestation very important, extension, local establishment here is depressing. We're not serious. And then the processing has to be beyond 50%. You mean not just cut them, sawn timber no more, it must be beyond. And those things need investment. Government has to step in. Sir, thank you.
Thank you for those observations. Any comment, Minister?
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you once again, Leader. Of course, we totally agree with me, but sorry to myself, because even the development budget, we will submit and go, but then still go down. Can't forget that we are the #1 revenue earning sector of the country, and that we should invest more on that. So thank you, Leader, for that follow. Those issues where you're raising, and I know the government is taking note of it. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for West Arara.
Thank you, Chairman. Minister, so Vinia, we had this company, but then we ran into problems no more, as Leader has expressed. Then we closed down. Going forward, law policy and law side of ministry, where are we and how now by doing? Are we still looking at that one with him interest? Or has been conversation with him, this company owner that invested in the vineyard, make him start bank, because we will be forever talking about downstream, but if him don't talk no more and practically him don't know behind him or do him anything about German, then him no more situation. So what's the policy moving forward, Minister, in this regard?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, MP, for West Arara. Yes, the Ministry is so concerned about that one, the closure of the company in Lunga, where so we are, as I said, we are coming up with the reforestation policy, which would ban carbon downstream and, of course, going into the finished product as vinyl. Yeah? So it's coming up under the policy that we are still working on it. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Honourable MP for West Arara.
Thank you, Chairman. Amendment Law Act Law U, make them 8%. Mahem ko law company. Every license, they can come. So bring that bill, Minister, whilst Mr. Chairman Law Bills and Legislation Committee. I'm looking forward to that. So we amend, we do the right thing for our people and this sunset industry. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you once again, West Arara. Yes, I think 2 weeks ago, Bill and the MKB for Cabinet, I was not present because I haven't read, I haven't read a little bit. But just to confirm that it's now before Cabinet, it's supposed to be discussed 2 weeks ago. I will make sure I come on next Cabinet, make him deliberate and then come up here. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Since we are not going by page, very soon I'll put a question. So I want to specific on the figures against the backdrop of the policy. At the moment, you're just reverting to Standing Order 23, asking and answering of questions, that's all, not related to the estimates as contained in these pages.
Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Leader.
Every policy no more, or detail here for supporting policy. Then time detail him no supporting policy, him also give ground to question to him. So some of these details do not support policy. And now some frustration law minister. Tabu belum ya, mi sortu masalah ni. Kalau ini abusing tabu ya. So, yeah, mas game kon tuvar lugas. So these are very important considerations, and of course, Minister of Finance was talking last week about functionality belong ICSI and where government need to step in, and also this is probably an industry that private sector can take care of it, so there may not be need for ICSI get involved. But if there is need, this is something we must step in to do. We must step in big time. This is not me disagree with him, Chairman of Bills. This is not a sunset industry, this one. Lolang lang mi wal pole more faalu industry, this one. Him born again industry, this one. Life back more industry. It can be, but it's in the government's hand. We need to invest in it so that Hemi become that to us. Question belum long side loan 283, Mr. Chairman. National Herbarium and Botanical Garden. Man, you must improve this botanic garden. Make him borrow a nice place for families to go, and Hemi become a center of education too. So we are encouraging all the young people, to know more about our native species of woods, trees, and osem, and a place where people will come. This time here, Hemi no osem botanic garden. You may leave him no more. Or get some fish na so go there and what kinds of osem. And we've been struggling for years for fencing, and then there are squatter issues and also. And go also we a little bit neglect them. We need to recover it and make it what it ought to be, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader, for the full observation. Yes, of course. I agree. I think the speech, budget speech, me mentioned that one. That my ministry will focus on the botanical garden under my ministry. So I'm dealing with one bilateral partner at the moment where we are engaged into dialogue, and they have agreed that we have to submit to them a proposal. Big Sam said that for place, it's a nice place for weekend outs, recreation, or picnic and go there, for tourism too. Those who were selling with the carvings, go there, make a tourist camp, go straight there, proper fencing, we can out put in with shops and things like that. So we are considering that as a way forward for us, a new leader on this note. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader.
Thank you. Prison lo down no more, so even not prisoner, that we go clean him good lo river, small stream, clean up inside. They can do it part along or community service block and also. I mean before walk about prisoner for community something. This time no more you may keep him more for weightlifting no more keke kokorako osem. No more you may like must a little bit walk along community, and it's right next to them. And I think it's good use of their time. We're spending so much money feeding them and making them stuck a muscle. They ought must go put on good use lot muscle. So story with the Minister of Police, make him lead him over there. I mean, talk log there for go clean up the botanic garden. Clean good and once also families go spend a weekend. There by nice. Let's make something of it. Just on the page 285 and 286, forest services. What now this one?
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Forest industry. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader, for the full question. Group, deal with licensing and other issues law for under the ministry, monitoring and so forth. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any further comments before I put the question? Otherwise, let me put the question. Sorry, Honourable MP for East Arar.
Sorry, Chair, into a line of eyesight, you will always struggle running. But just on page 285, just the forest industries number, just to ask about employment in terms of employment by Solomon Islanders in this particular industry. What is the trend now? I'm hearing things start to go down now. Maybe employment start to go down too. Kind of just hearing about any updates on employment of Solomon Islanders in the industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, MP, for the full question. At the moment, we have no update on that currently, so I have no instructions on that. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Honourable MP for East Arar.
Thank you, Chair. On the issues of injuries during employment for some of these companies, me one fella nephew blow me and bara injured no inside law operations, and yet letters me write him. No one say reply come him no more in terms of the obligation that is clearly set out in the employment contract. Kind of same, how na ba imi address him in terms of like settle him out of court no more. No need for Google court, but is there a way to get employers to respond to their obligations that are clearly there without having to resort to take me for court kind of same? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you once again, Istara, for the question. Of course, there are laws governing employment. If there's an injury occurred during the course of the work, relevant laws are there, maybe labor law or contract law or whatever. You can always go to the courts. In terms of my ministry, maybe if government officer and I am injured, maybe we can consider that. But otherwise, if any employee under a lawing company or something else, it's governed by other laws when applicable. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to supplement Minister's answer, usually when it happens, what's a right come, then we refer them to the Ministry of Commerce for Department of Labour for him carry out what reports to him. Once some carry out reports to him, then that is sent to the company, and usually the companies are paid, but time him no pay, do a magistrate now. The magistrate makes a formal order there and ends up pay. So as dispute him, then him go up for him to court to blame me. But usually it's dealt with at that level because what claims are sometimes just between $30,000 and $5,000 or so. Some of what claims are somewhat assessing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Attorney General. Honourable MP for East Arar.
Thank you. Thank you for those clarifications, Minister. And AG, it's just that the employment contract is between the injured and the employer. So the involvement below AG and everyone, it seems to be quite cumbersome for what should be a straightforward kind of a issue, because we are not privy to that particular contract. So legally, it's just that these employers don't seem to really care. Despite letters from the injured, supporting letters, and that just to say, can we at least meet and story before, of course, if there's a need to be, because I think to involve already other parties, it's a bit too cumbersome. But I think our operators need to respect our laws no more. I think Minister, you must remind them about operators here that when they sign off and it's black and white in there in terms of compensation, if there's medical reports by the employer or by the employee, at least start a conversation with them rather than pushing it down the line to a busy AG or office more and your office as well. So I think it's a good reminder to remind operators to just live up to the obligations, particularly when they sign the parties are definitely quite clear in terms of contracts of employment. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Luis Arare, any comments on the observations? Honourable Minister, Honourable Attorney General, Minister. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Chairman, and thank you once again, Mr. Arare. Yes, I agree with you that there are lots of injuries. Some of the person dead now, a lot of logging camps and things also. So when it comes to compensation, what companies say sometimes I don't like to pay them too. I'd like no more, but I'd like to go through any kind of process. So I guess my ministry has to step up on that, number one. And number two, we must enter the contraction with the company, make sure and stipulate it inside that when there's injury, what now compensation, time die, what now by contract, by governing on that. That one normally be coming. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East. Sorry.
The Chairman, just generally on forestry industry, I think the Public Accounts Committee raising one fella is on the voluntary carbon market, and I've got to identify some problem there. Mr. Chairman, I think the unregulated nature of that voluntary carbon market. So what's the government's thinking? Are you going to by regulating? It's one fella strategy for sustainable harvesting and preserving forestry, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for that follow-up question. Yes, we are coming up with Solomon Islands carbon trading policy at the moment. Of course, it is a new area where you may agree that in the interest of some of our NGOs and international organizations too. It's a new area, so we are working on a policy to govern that. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. And thank you, Honourable MP for East Arare.
Thank you, Chair. And just to follow up the question from the member for East Jozo, with regards to initiatives like RED, what the kind of saying, policy the government is still supporting those initiatives. REDD, I think Prime Minister might know about the history behind this, but it's an international kind of understanding with countries like Solomon Islands. I think Papua New Guinea is very much involved in it. Within small island settings, some fala agree lohem, some fala no mas agree. It's all linked towards climate change issues too, but just wanted to know what policy law government law that particular, the RED initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Mr. for the follow-up question. Yes, of course, we are progressing the RED Plus issue at the moment within my ministry. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Any comments on that? Otherwise, let me put the question. And the question is that the sum of 25,697,700 $768 for head 13, some part of the schedule. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. A sum of $25,697,768 for head 13 now stands part of the schedule. Head 14, Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet. It is here proposed that the sum of $119,721,154 for head 14 stand part of the schedule. If any member wishes to comment on this head, please refer to the details in the BRICS report on the pages 292 to 307 of the draft recurrent estimates. And the PAC's findings and recommendations of the head are on pages 104 to 111 of the report on this bill. Any comments on that head? And again, we'll go, as I said, go by page, if possible. So page head 14 is laid out as such. The Prime Minister and Cabinet and Administration is page 292 and so on, until the last page on this is on the Constitutional Reform Unit, Independent Commissions and Anti-Corruption on page 307. So there are main headings in this head. It's Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet. 8 main issues that can be brought up on the pages that I made reference to be appreciated by the committee if you can make reference to those pages and the issues that those pages do cover for consideration by the committee. So first of all, any comment on the page 292 to 294, which is on the Prime Minister and Cabinet Administration. Your comments, please. Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Just firstly, with regards to, of course, and coupled a little bit with him, other reforms, law electoral commission, which you may cover and finish, but the law political parties commission. Where are we with regards to the reforms to that fella act and the whole area of political parties? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank the Leader of Opposition for that important policy question with regards to reforms to the Political Parties Commission, the Political Parties Integrity Act. We are expecting reforms on this or cabinet submissions on this, and no cabinet. I believe that's work that is being undertaken by the Political Parties Commission. So we hope that in the course of next year, these reforms back us in cabinet. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Any further comments? Again, if you can go on those pages that I made reference to, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. There's a new item, on page 293, local or others, local other costs. Item 22517, 500,000. What now? This one, it wasn't in last or this year's and in 2024 either. And while I'm at it, third to the last item of that list, 293, subventions and grants, 3 million. This one grant for which institution? Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Leader of Opposition. Yes, others, local others costs. This one, new one, repatriation expenses for special impressed or goods and services to be incurred during repatriation. So when an officer is repatriated, it's go whatever the goods and belongings, employ him and family, and the office does help out in terms of some of those costs, freight for overtime. So this is quite a new item, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
In terms of the subventions, that is on page, it's the 3 million there. This code is to cater for the final year to complete the 2023 Pacific Games audit and close the National Hosting Authority in 2026. The funds will cater for audit fees, some utilities in terms of electricity and water bills, as well as office stationaries. Then a subvention for that head item.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, at the top of that page, 293, sir, medical assessment, there's a $3 million reduction, so that's a good sign. That's you may healthy good or number 9 have come up CMC, so we're getting the services here. So I'm assuming that medical assessment even for Kabam time members or constitutional post holders go overseas for medical referrals outside Longo mustard seed scheme here. Is that correct? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Leader. Yes, this caters for medical referral for MPs, members of Parliament overseas, PSs, as well as constitutional post holders, medical refunds, as well as refunds as per their contracts. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I just come back to the subventions and grants, 3 million for finishing of audit and some other winding up matters, below NHA. When in Longo submission, below Auditor General come Longo PAC, Auditor General Barawa complain to us. The approach below NHA has been anything but cooperative. And it's been going on for too long too. The former Deputy Auditor General last time blow GOC against organizing committee yet for weeks and weeks. By FCA avoid him no more, no come, go got him out, him come, then go. It's just the whole attitude him barawa. Wrong for good and make him walk up below Auditor General, which he's mandated by the Constitution to do. Unnecessarily burdensome, and it really is regrettable. And when people start behaving like that, everyone feels what too much time. We will like avoid him audit also. It's just a comment that I wish to make, but it doesn't augur well for accountability when officers treat the Auditor General with that level of contempt and disdain, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we will thank the Leader of Opposition for those important observations in terms of the delays on the audit work on the Pacific Games 2023 audits. And on that note, Chairman, let me also thank the Chairman and members of the Public Accounts Committee for their recommendations on the Pacific Games audit, of course, in particular with reference to the slow progress being made to conclude the audits. Mr. Chairman, let me assure this Honourable Whole House that I, as Minister responsible for the Pacific Games, 2020 Pacific Games, would like to conclude the 2023 audits as soon as possible. For the information of this Honourable House, the Auditor General and representatives of the KPMG, the external auditors contracted by the Auditor General Office to undertake the audits. They had an audience with me last Friday. Last week, 5th of December, to provide an update to me on the progress of the audits. on the 2023 Pacific Games. And of course, during the meeting, the Auditor General emphasized his concerns on the slow progress of the financial audits of the 2023 Pacific Games. He highlighted the importance of providing the auditors with complete and quality documentation to assist the audit process. Part of the delay, Mr. Chairman, for the information of the Honourable House is the fact that the Games Organising Committee was closed straight after the Games, and it was the Games Organising Committee who had done most of the procurements. So when they were disbanded straight after the Games, it was quite difficult to retrieve important information that are required. That is not to say that the chairman of the National Hosting Authority has been doing his best to provide the necessary information. So KPMG is waiting on some additional information from the National Hosting Authority on one further inquiry, and hopes to be able to close off the 2029-2021 financial audits shortly, so that they can focus on the 2022 and 2023 financial audits next year. In addition, the Auditor General commissioned a separate special audit which has also been completed by the KPMG and to which the National Hosting Authority has also provided a response to that report. So the Office of the Auditor General and KPMG are working closely with the National Hosting Authority to resolve matters on this audit before it is concluded. And I think, as you may have read in the papers, in the radio, my press office has already put out a press release about the meeting that I had with the Auditor General and KPMG representatives last week. Finally, the Australian government also conducted a separate audit on its $100 million contribution to the Games. The National Hosting Authority is now waiting for the audit opinion on this audit. So, Mr. Chairman, to conclude, I, as the Minister for the Pacific Games, together with the Chair of the National Hosting Authority, both wish to see the completion of the audits of the 2023 Pacific Games as soon as possible, so that the audit report can be properly presented to Parliament for its consideration. I have also agreed with the Auditor General on a more regular basis to be updated on the progress of the audit and any concerns he may have going forward. Mr. Chairman, as the audit of the 2023 Pacific Games is still progressing, I suggest that we do not engage in further detailed discussions on this subject, and we wait for the audit reports to be completed and presented to Parliament. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I agree to the Prime Minister's statement. You may not delve into the issues that may or may not be raised in the audit reports. But however, cooperation, lol kita officials and bar of important, have not drag him out this thing. And some for lol kita behavior, hemi bar of a look also, hemi just outright deliberate delaying tactics and obstruction, and also no more. And as Minister responsible, we will expect the Honourable Prime Minister to put his foot down on some of these practices. There must be some accountability when the Auditor General is being deliberately, or his contract auditors are being deliberately frustrated. This has gone on for far too long, and it's totally unnecessary, the length of time that it has taken. So, that one no more comment me like for taking a Prime Minister put on foot. I know he's on to it, and you're doing too many other things, and that too is being, used because you're too busy in other things. So, but I direct him SPM who put on foot lohem and really push it. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Leader. And take note of those important concerns and recommendation to speed this up, especially for the relevant officials to collaborate and to cooperate with the Auditor General's Office. So we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you.
Any further comments on that page? On page 295, the Honourable MP for East Arare.
Thank you. Page 293, the medals at the top third item. See that there's substantial increase from last year and perhaps previous year as well. Just wanted to know what now reason behind this one. By I think you give him stuck a medal or kind of in next year. Just wanted to know what the policy direction is for the medals. Thanks.
Thank you. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do thank the Chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee and the good friend, the MP for East Arare, for that question. That is in terms of the medals. Yes. Yes, that allocation caters for honors and awards medals. The increase reflects increase in awards that is due to be approved in next year. So hence the increase in allocation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Any further comments, please? Honourable MP for East Arare.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Prime Minister. Would you say that this would be the trend now, that you will be giving more awards than in the past to our citizens that deserve it? Because some of us would support that kind of recognition for our citizens, and even don't have to wait until you all man too. Some award give him law. Some a young man blame you or young woman where perhaps have raised our flag in their fields around the world, be it in the arts or sciences or academia. But I think it's great practice to do this, and I would encourage you even to perhaps make an own award too. We understand that you're going to Prime Minister's golf around, but I'm sure you can make your own Prime Minister's award here too. You follow skillful golfers, yeah, but I think I would encourage you to make a category for yourself, good citizenship kind of awards for those that have carried a flag of Solomon Islands, our musicians that continue to raise our flag around the region and indeed the world. Kota might be young and not need to be old man before taking, but give him Kota now. Time Kota still hot in terms of their current contribution. As we know, Chair, this is part of our soft power. When we are doing these sorts of things, our name gets recognized, and when you travel to the region, take one or two of our musicians along with you. Make them go, make them what man lo de a little bit. This is important too, yeah, in terms of our outreach and our positioning as a power, a regional power in the Pacific. Let's not think you, me, for follow no more. We can, under your leadership, be leaders as well. So yeah, I would encourage you to perhaps explore these kinds of awards going forward more. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and we thank the MP for East Arare on those important observations and recommendations in terms of honours and awards. As the first part of his observation, yes, over the years there has been an increase in terms of recommendations that come to the Honours and Awards Committee. We do have an Honours and Awards Committee, and there is a certain application form that anyone can use, even members of Parliament, that you may wish to recommend someone who has served his or her community well, either in education or in nursing or in business, or even musicians that you would like to recommend. So there is that application form that one can fill to make those recommendations, of course supported by others in terms of that person. So yes, over the years the trend has been increasing in terms of applications for honours and awards. But the second part of your question, we'll look into those criteria as well going forward. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Any further comments, Honourable Leader of Opposition?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Also, part of 50th anniversary, so increasing awards for 50th year. Make a 50 no small number. Can give him one for AG. Follow line for follow goals. Make him. I mean, it's you know make fun, but it's an important milestone in the journey, our political journey, and we need to recognize many people who have been part of that journey, an important part of that journey in the governance of our country, but also, of course, right down to community level engagement. Me question to me, sir, Lomo, page 295, right at the bottom. There's subventions and grant, 5.5 million. In that it is under information service. I assume this is for SIBC. Me like for Savinomo, what time by for the reinstating SIBC under law SOE Act? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Leader of Opposition. I didn't quite catch the last part of your intervention. In terms of the first part, yes, that subvention or grant is for SIBC. Thank you.
Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, sir. Me ask no more, when will SIBC be reinstated in the schedule to the SOE Act? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Leader. I don't have a particular time frame at the moment, but we'll look into that going forward. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. No comments, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you. Just following on that, I would like to encourage all ministries that have SOEs, even if they're not under the schedule to the SOE Act, but have companies or agencies under their ministries, to move those, go live in Mogata under law, the governance framework where SOE Act can be provided. It's a good framework. There are just a few issues that need to be tightened up on that act, in that act, but it is far better governance structures there than under the original legislation where setting up about statutory authorities. Yeah. So we would encourage government to do that, including or get the new companies where you mean to set them up as towers, airport corporation, and so forth, so that we're all clear on the governance processes where may happen. Of course, it does not take away at all from having strategic directions being issued by government through ministers, or boards, but it allows for orderly governance of these institutions, which play a very important part in our society and economy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank the Leader of Opposition for those observations, very important observations, and I'm sure the ministers responsible, those ministries where some of these SOEs come under, will also take note of that important observation. But going back to his earlier comment, his earlier intervention in terms of honors and awards to coincide with the 50th independence anniversary, that's an important initiative that we will certainly look at, so that we use that milestone, that opportunity come 2028 to actually award a number of hardworking citizens in our country for their hard work and recognition. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Any further comments on this head? Any pages? Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'm just wondering, the Prime Minister signed an agreement, or I'm not sure you signed it too, but there was some understanding with Australia. They were going to build a number of houses for Prime Minister, for Chief Justice, or for Speaker, or with Osim. So just an update on where we are on those. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Leader, for that question. Yes, Australia is funding the Prime Minister's residence. The Ministry of MID will soon finalize the design of that. Under OPMC, we are also working on the designs of the other houses or residences that the leader made reference to. So we hope construction of the PM's residence will start sometimes next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments before I put the question? Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, sir. Just long Leadership Code Commission. Let me look for establishment long Leadership Code Commission. But in any case, sir, Leadership Code Commission, of course, along with Ombudsman, you may be discussing when we were dealing with Ombudsman head there, similar to Electoral Commission. Olketa always express him a little bit frustration long allocations where go Olketa. Especially long human resource side, so they're able to do their work, discharge their work effectively. So the importance of the Leadership Code Commission, none of us can deny. And perhaps the need for reforms there also to make, when it was fit for purpose when it was brought into place. But in today's world, good for you, leaders and leaders going forward, to be totally open. And I think there is a strong case to be made for having the registry of declared interests public. Same way in declaration lo here law Parliament 2 year, where members of Parliament do him and update it from time to time, and even those updates should also be public. That's the practice in many parliaments throughout the Commonwealth now, and it's something that we should aspire to do. So perhaps some work needs to go into looking at the feasibility of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Leader, for that important observation in terms of the work of the Leadership Code Commission, a very important integrated institution. Maybe the same applies to others like the Ombudsman and SICAC. Yes, there are gaps in terms of resourcing, in terms of capacitating the actual people. So those reforms are certainly required. We'll work closely with the Leadership Code Commission as well as the Ombudsman in these areas, especially with regards to resourcing them so that they can effectively discharge their mandated responsibilities. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. All right. Any further comments? I will put the question. Honourable MP for Minister of Finance. Honourable MP for East Tresor.
Thank you, sir. This is on political parties commissioning and ongoing work for reform that I think the constitutional amendments that we're needing for making the processes outlined that act and actually work. For example, in the need for common law we all about. The parties that win the majority sit automatically the leader of the political party. the way this arranged, the scheme of arrangements under that proposed amendment to the Constitution sees the Governor General and automatically form the government. So there's a lot of reforms that them should happen, but I think we need an amendment to the second schedule of the Constitution before I'm allowing the electoral process for work. So where are we? Are we pursuing the reform of the political party integrity act? Yeah.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and let me thank the MP for his choice on that important question. Yes, work is ongoing, especially by the Political Parties Commission, the chairman. We did have a meeting mid this year in terms of some of these reforms, and I've been assured that when they are ready in terms of their consultations, they'll come back to us to get something through to Cabinet. Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Chairman of the PAC.
Thank you, sir. The other aspect, some of this integrity institution, is to possibly we can follow the pathway that we have made for SICA, and that is to create a separate head for them. I would suggest that we do the same for the Leadership Court Commission and also the Political Party Integrity Commission, so that they can have a space free from any influences to do bid for financial resources. What's your thinking on that, sir?
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and I wish to thank the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and the MP for Central Honiara for his observation. Yes, I do agree with you. That's a trend we would like to pursue. So for the first time, next year's budget, SICA has a separate head, and we would like to do the same for the other integrated institutions. So that's the approach that we are going to take. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Me first, I'm talk happy over the promise by Prime Minister Talen for doing over the reforms. Time we cover electoral commission, SICA more than political parties commission. What good for something? I must take him come on because we must make him before next election. But question for me, page 304, sabe kasi mo there or no?
One finish.
Yeah, but endlo hem na ya, Mr. Chairman. Endlo hem, but me like sabe, me shall ask him question no there or?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think one fella, my presentation issue no more, but maybe Prime Minister Sabe helping me for understanding why now under this was Subhead 306 Parliamentary Entitlement Commission, we have other charges but no any payroll law him. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, my good friend, the Chairman of the Parliamentary House Committee and the powerful MP for Small Malaita. That important question. I understand the salaries will come under headquarters, Prime Minister's office and Cabinet. Thank you.
Thank you. Prime Minister, any other comments? Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, sir. Court of Appeal ruled last time of parliamentary entitlements here, and me make them very clear along section 69B 3B law constitution, where we say Parliamentary Entitlements Commission shall secure that the salaries and other entitlements of parliamentarians increase at no less than a rate. Then go ahead now. So yearly review here, he must increase all the way. by no go down. Yeah. So, but you know, hemi putumimilo situation where hem can only increase, it can never go down. You know, me think there's a wider policy argument to say there will be times when entitlements below members of parliament must go down, or can go down. You know, times below economic hardship, also, and you know, argument could be had also. You know, for example, when Tina Hydro comes on stream in 2029, then price below electricity by him go down 40% is the current projection. Therefore, the electricity allowance should reflect that also. Of course, other considerations would be included, but my point is there probably is need for reform on that point, that HEM should not just mandate it can only increase, but that the yearly review should look at the economic conditions and then determine that they have authority to determine what happens. Niwari no mudata, there is no provision that it can reduce. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and I do thank the Leader of Opposition for those important observations. And I think around the same clauses of the Constitution that he has quoted, there are also benchmarks that the PEC needs to look at whenever they review or consider applications for salary increases or awards, and one of those, I guess, is looking at the prevailing economic situation, also looking at what now salary increase law, public servants, for example. So these are factors that they normally take on board when they review either salary increases, not only below MPs, but also below other MPAs and also. So these are considerations. The need for review, we will look into that if there is a need to review or reform some of this. It may mean constitutional amendment to that particular provision where we've got what the benchmarks or criteria for the PEC for him to look at time and doing what of Of course, part of the PEC in terms of membership is we have the Minister of Finance and of course the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, the important members of the Parliamentary Entitlements Commission. But I note the observation that the leader has outlined. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable MP, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So perhaps, you know, the other discussion, I think earlier this year, in terms of a higher salaries commission or something, or somewhere with judiciary, parliament, and the civil service, something like that. It just is each time the PEC makes an award, you know, you may become a focus of a public backlash or outcry and also, and sometimes justifiably so. I mean, disproportionate to what's happening in the rest of the public sector and the economy. And so I think you mean by protecting the dignity of Parliament by having a commission where not just dedicated to Parliament, but that can look after the higher echelons of the three arms of government. So perhaps that reform could be to look at combining those together. We do need to protect the name of Parliament, the reputation of Parliament, the dignity of Parliament. And the accusation always is PEC independent, but when they make their award, the accusation is we are all self-serving, even if we had no hand in making such decisions. And I think it is incumbent on us to take steps to make those changes, to not have to face that kind of accusation, unjustified as it may be. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. I thank the Leader of Opposition for that important observation in terms of the Higher Salaries Commission. That initiative is under active consideration. in terms of its establishment. So we are actively looking at that and see how it will also focus on the other related areas, including PEC, for example. So that work is actively being pursued. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. The other thing, look him budget lo PMO lo Constituency Boundaries Commission. I'm not sure what intentions there are, but of course population has increased and the constitutional direction has been surpassed. Should be looked at every 10 years at least, but doing the last one was in I think 2009 or 2010. We're now 2025, so we're 15 years. But of course, back then, 2010, 1 year, Hemi defeated, so there was no change. So no change for now. So 10 years, and then now you mean logo, another 15 years more. So it's been 25 years that this matter, and there's been no changes. Of course, constitution amendment, law they finish increasing number. Yeah. So what now? Ting law, government law this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Leader of Opposition, for that question. Yes, actually the work of the Constituencies Boundaries Commission that comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So we'll have some discussions under that. But certainly, since the last report, as you have rightly alluded to, it's supposed to be every 10 years, the review of the constituencies boundaries. That has not happened. But that function comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Prime Minister's office. Probably when we come to the Home Affairs side, we'll have some discussions on it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Thank you. But the appointment of commissioners is by the Prime Minister in this matter. So if the appointment is by the Prime Minister, of course, then the policy intention, I mean, like for Saga, whether there is any policy intention to make those appointments, I think we are constitution duty bound to appoint that commission to do its work. So policy intention, me like for her. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. That important clarification. We'll pursue that. We need to review the current membership and take it from there in terms of the appointments of the commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. And further questions, comments? Honourable MP for East Harare.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick one on the health scheme here. Entitlements for health scheme, the insurance seed or the mustard seed. Is it still continuing, or what's the policy of the government, particularly on that particular issue of health scheme? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee and the MP for East Harare on that very important question. Yes, this is a matter that has been handled by the Parliamentary Entitlements Commission in terms of contracting the mustard seed arrangements. So the contract has been extended, it's been renewed by the PEC, although there were different views from a number of us around the House, but the PEC is independent. There may have been gaps in terms of how the contract was concluded. There may not have been, for example, whether there was sufficient consultations with other parties or stakeholders. That did not really take place, I guess. The contract has been signed. The Attorney General's Chambers has some views on this. So due to the manner in which the contract was concluded, although PEC is independent, the Ministry of Finance is finding it a bit difficult in terms of dispersing funds that were allocated to mustard seed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this medical insurance cover, even extended, you may by putum selen bohem next year more, I think. Me like sabe that one because I recall also what the group or kantalem lawyer too. You also give him come all the medical expenses will even come. We will some try and then have problem no more. Mr. Chairman, me like say what now exactly is happening. Thank you. Aye.
Thank you. Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, the Chairman of the Parliamentary House Committee and the MP for Small Malaita. Yes, we did meet with the mustard seed people. Well, of course, they paid a courtesy call to meet with us to try and explain the matter. That was mid this year. And they did also make reference to, there are certain conditions that, for example, if you Sikhi, you are entitled to some refunds. But there are certain conditions. If that disease is a pre-existing ailment or Sikhi, then Bogota find it difficult a little bit for water refunds. Because there are a number of members of parliament who have refunds, but who are not refunded. There are others where they get them refunds. So these are the issues that are at hand in terms of the mustard seed operations.
Thank you. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, that fella aspect of that scheme is unconstitutional. Yeah, because Constitution now 69B, hemna make him very clear that him not determine him. You seek a heart problem before you come to Parliament. Him the stalem no more. You entitled to health care. And so him no say, oh, because you sick first time before you come to Parliament, therefore you no entitled. So this aspect of that was scheme, really break Constitution. Yeah. So if they are unable to provide that service, that should be considered an adverse position and should be, whatever contract they have, has to be subject to Constitution. Yeah. You cannot turn around to a member of Parliament who has these constitutional entitlements and make that kind of a limitation on those entitlements. Lo yumi 69B hem no grade yumi between those who are healthy, those who are sick but sick no more time of member, and those who are sick first time before become member. Now once people elect him, yumi come lo here. The Constitution cover me same equal now. All our health issues. So this is a matter. It seems the PEC has been a little bit negligent, loheme, and so it needs to be brought to their attention. The other consideration, of course, is that it is a very inefficient way to provide health service to members of Parliament, PSCs, constitutional post holders. But because PEC have only look members of Parliament, have we neglected the wider, catchment of that service. Because it's not, what we need is an insurance, health insurance cover, not what is being offered. What is being offered is not an insurance. They call it a health scheme. So you may pay them go 3 million a year. Then of course they must take their cut from it. So I'm reduced now. So one MM reduced now or place in limits lo more. It's not in the spirit of the Constitution at all. That's why we are forced to the Prime Minister's office having to make allocations to then supplement them more. One in Parliament and do him under or MP go under contract with PEC and that service provider. So it's a very inefficient scheme, and it's by way of resource allocation, it's not the best. But we appreciate the work that they have done for some members who have had access to those services. But at the policy level, I think we must admit that it is not good, it's not fit for purpose, and even though outside more nara how many years more, it ought to be reviewed. And PEC, although him independent, the executive manages the purse. And I think PEC needs to accept that such a review, he must consult everyone, consult him executive and consult him House Committee on these things. So no unilaterally renew more with something no more without taking in all the views below you mean. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and to thank the Leader of Opposition for those very important observations and recommendations. I think going forward, some of these views could be constructed in a form of submission that should come from the Parliamentary House Committee on behalf of the members of Parliament and forward it to the PEC so that they can review these medical arrangements. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This will current medical arrangement here, what not we usually leader no para useless one no more. No, me just tell him because it's very frustrating, Mr. Chairman. People probably ought to benefit lo this one. I don't know how this is being done. And this is very, very frustrating. I'm discriminatory too, because time you try for go claim him about medical costs here. I think you TB come last house here. So I no good. Me 187 over. This for the PEC, I have not questioned below me today. PEC, I'm because not only is that it's very, very badly resourced. So no matter payroll, how many people work a lot, but I think one was secretary no more. We have to write in minutes. But this fellow work, I need him. People where that should be knowledgeable, or deal with him. And one fella exercise for him take a long time too much. Now determination law, health care, belong or members of parliament. And I think the point made by the leader of opposition, Hemi Baratruya, every MPA or the constitutional post holders or the judges, you do your speaker, you nothing inside no more what consideration here. So I think we have to look at a more broader like this fella, where we talk about higher salary commission here. Hey, we talk about him how many years. Now we talk about him no happen no more. We need to bring them up. But question below me, staffing lot this fella commission. Because Mane hide no more inside office below you, Prime Minister. Something whether government support or because payroll block, but no more too. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. I thank the Chairman of the House Committee and the MP for Small Mallet for those important observations on the PEC. Yes, the PEC has one secretary. In terms of the salary split, come under the Prime Minister's office and cabinet, as well as allowances for the PEC commissioners. We have not received any submissions from the PEC in terms of asking for additional staff or resourcing over the last few years. Of course, the PEC Commission or the office is not in our office. They rent a separate office. But we'll check with our senior officials, management, whether PEC has actually made a submission for additional staff apart from the secretary that it has. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable MP for West Arare.
Thank you, Chairman. Notice for the insurance scheme law members and others here. Chair, later Hemi point him out section 69B3. Then for you may have it luluklahema. Okat extension ya Hemi done outside Lotatuan. I think you need for correcting. My question, Chair, is this for company master seat or under the contract, are they to submit reports or even audited report? Because I'm not just an ordinary activity of public service under Prime Minister's office, as I also said. Are they required to submit those reports to report and to who? You Prime Minister or PEC or or PAC report should come here. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Leader. Sir, Honourable MP for West Arare. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman of the Bills and Legislation Committee and MP for West Arare. Yes, they should submit reports to the Parliamentary Entitlements Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you. So there's an additional 1.5 million allocated under law Parliament vote here for these pre-existing conditions where we precluding members of Lohemia, just for completeness of information. But the other issue is, so PEC determines, I would not decide on the entitlements, then who administers the entitlements? So at the moment, that's done from here, from Parliament, and that also includes former members of Parliament, of course. But I think going forward, that question needs to be looked at. Who now properly should be administering? Is it the role of Parliament to be administering that, or that's a role for the PEC, or is it a role that might come back or one for arm of the executive? Is something to think about. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Leader. As most of the decisions or entitlements that are determined by PEC, as far as members of Parliament are concerned, administered by Parliament. Going forward, we may need to, as Leader Taleb, review some of those arrangements as to how best now for Administer Mugata and which body should be in a position to do that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Any further comments? Not, I'm now going to put the
Other consideration.
Okay. Yes. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Before we take a vote on the head 14, I just want to clarify a matter that was raised yesterday because it does relate to the OPMC budget in terms of the 54th Pacific Island Forum leaders meeting, especially in terms of vehicle allocations. I thought it's important that I clarify this. I think the leader of opposition, when the MID budget was discussed yesterday, did make some comments on this. So I thought it's important that I clarify that statement made by the leader. And this one is with regards to the order and procurement of Hiluxes from Ella Motors to support the hosting of the 54th Pacific Island Forum Leaders meeting. It was reported that two separate orders were made to Ella Motors, one by MID and the other by SPM Special Duties. Mr. Chairman, that information is not correct, is incorrect. The correct information is as follows. The Transport and Logistics Committee of the PIF Leaders Meeting, chaired by the Director of Technical and Land Transport Division of the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, identified the need for 50 Hilux vehicles to be procured for the PIF meeting. So the total order of 50 Hiluxes was made by MID to Ella Motors. Of the 50 Hiluxes, MID paid for 8 Hiluxes, and funding was sought from the forum budget for the additional 42 Hiluxes. SPMSD and PS Foreign Affairs, being co-chairs of the 54th Pacific Island Forum Leaders Meeting, worked with the Secretary to the Prime Minister, being the accountable officer for OPMC, under which the Ministry Forum budget sits. Agreed there was adequate funds available in the PIF budget, which was also supported by development partners to procure the balance of 42 Hiluxes. Mr. Chairman, the decision to procure the 42 Hiluxes from the total of 50 ordered by MID was made by the accountable officer of OPMC after verifying the availability of funds in the 54th PIF Leaders Meeting budget to undertake procurement. Mr. Chairman, I also wish to confirm that all 50 Hilux vehicles were ordered by MID, following the decision by the PIF committee responsible for logistics and transport to procure 50 Hiluxes. I further informed this House that the SPMSD had no role in the decision of acquiring 50 Hiluxes, not the ordering of the vehicles. The only role he played was to help mobilize the funds to enable the procurement of the vehicles under the PIF budget. Mr. Chairman, members of this Honourable House, I should not use the parliamentary privilege to attack our citizens without first establishing the facts. I therefore request, Chairman, that the Hansard records on the discussion relating to the order and procurement of PIF vehicles from Ella Motors be corrected to reflect the facts as stated above, so that justice is done by this Honourable House. I thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister, for the clarification. Honourable Leader.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I do wish to thank the Honourable Prime Minister for that clarification, and I therefore withdraw my statement. Law additional 50 information here come from Yuval Nomotu, come from MID, so we will be checking with him MID more to make sure that I am through 50 now, totally no 100. So information come from within Yuval government also. Therefore, we were it was within our legitimate rights to ask the question. You weren't here, so Baro clarifying good, so it led me to making those statements. As you now clear, those statements were exceeding what the facts would have allowed to be, so I accept that and concur with the record Lohansan being rectified for Streatham this matter. So thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader. With that comment, let me now put the question. The question is that the sum of $119,721,154 for page 14 stand part of the schedule. Those in favour, say aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The sum of $119,721,000 for $721,000, 150. Beg your pardon. The sum of $119,721,154 for head 14 now stand part of the schedule. Thank you. Say, the ayes have it. Thank you. We'll go through another head. Head 16, Ministry of Police and National Security and Correctional Services. It is hereby proposed that the sum of $407,505,404 for head 16 stand part of the schedule. Any member wish to comment on this head, please refer to pages 316 to 324 of the draft recurrent estimates. And for the PAC's findings and recommendations, please refer to pages 112 to 118 of the report. Thank you. Any comment on that head? Again, it's refer to page 316, start with 316 of the BRICS report. Any comment on that head on this page? Next page, any comment on the next page, please? 316, 317. Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Thank you, sir. May like to ask for more RSIPF expansion programming. The phasing of it, I suppose. When do certain benchmarks in the growth? When are they expected? So over what timeline? Now you may aim for hitting this for like mark of 3,000 or whatever it was, officers. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and may like for thank him to good friend Lami, leader of the opposition, for that very important question. To date, dialogue and discussions between officials, ministry, police, and our development partner. Now, first process for establishing understanding on different aspects of that police expansion program, like by him involved in training, infrastructure, a type of infrastructure, size of it, and so as I speak, what officials, relevant officials, are going to continue for consult and dialogue with him, development partner, whether they be willing for supporting this particular program. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
So when is that process expected to conclude and a more definitive timeline and benchmarks established? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Leader of the Opposition, for that further question. We are anticipating that by both sides agree on the first phase of measures that will be taken, and that is consultation as to where now for you be building, even in terms of sites, infrastructure type, or the establishing the done, and we will be proceeding on. As soon as you may sign in MOU, then that will MOU on the specific program, then you may be expecting for implementing. So we are anticipating that hopefully within 6 months we should come with some sort of realistic time frame for each phase of the program. And so initial discussion and go ahead this time. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So I can see that. So that's the expansion program for upper police numbers and the associated support policy considerations. What about the existing police numbers and matter of housing, Lolketa? So I am assuming, therefore, that expansion program and deal with that new process of intake and support them over the house and training and over something. And the current stock of police housing block them by no form part of this program that Emi staff lo Yumi. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Leader of Opposition, for that question. The current police program, Blue Yumi, not affected by the new arrangement. The new arrangement by HEMI considering the anticipated increase as when Yumi engage, Yumi implementing the program. So the yearly intake about new recruits are still going on our existing program at the moment, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Chairman of PAC and MP for Central Honiara.
Thank you, sir. Small one no more. Just on the income no more, Minister. Quite surprising for the revise for this year on income. It fell from some 5 million to basically 71,000, and now it's going up again to about 5 million. Can you explain that fluctuation here on income number? Income. Maybe you can read it together, page 315 and the Royal Solomon Police in page 323.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we look forward. Thank you to Chairman for Public Accounts Committee, MP for Central Honiara. Yes, this fluctuate low amount as I'm stated. As you all know, Operation Block Police and quite very expensive. We do actually submit more than that. But we do also understand in the budget pressure that you may have them, and we are given what we are given, but we have already also highlighted this to our very supportive development partners to ensure that we align in our budget support, budget gaps. So far we have positive feedback which we anticipate to see that come for support in areas that we will not for securing budget next year. But we are also preparing to see as when necessary for putting no supplementary budget to it. So I will ask support this House if in the event them come low supplementary, which I hope him not happen. Our partners by stepping, but in the event that not happen, we will definitely seeking more assistance through supplementary. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Central Honiara.
Chairman, actually, this is on income, not on expenditure. This is on income. That the page 315 in the summary of income here. Originally, you were expecting to raise an income of 5.4 million, but then the revised budget came up with only 71,000. And then this year it went up to 5.4 million again. So that's really the question that me asking you. What now? Why has this been the case?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for clarifying good more question. The simple answer, sir, is that yes, last year around 71,000 income taken from non-tax revenue, like police clearance and all this, but from record blow this year, we are projecting that due to demand of police clearance and other non-taxable revenue, like fire service and all this, MIFALA projecting that by HEMI casting that amount. That's the reason why we are putting 5 million for this year. Thank you. Next year.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Central Honiara.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Minister, for those. I think you need to go back no more and establish no more the facts as to why we aren't receiving that income this year, and therefore next year, not by me projecting a huge, quite a substantial increase of revenue. It's a good thing that we will return to what we have received last year, but the current year now I'm not recording that kind of flow. So anyway, by you go and try for reconciling. The other question that me like to ask him in relation to the Royal Solomons Police Force and the agreement that Prime Minister and Prime Minister of Australia have signed on this beefing up arrangement for police recruitment. How much of our internal recurrent care now we will have to give to that task here? Is it solely funded by Australia, or we will have to meet some part of the recurrent cost? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Chairman for PAC for that question. Yes, you may also got a commitment, and so we are allocating some budget on that particular program.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to supplement or clarify, the question raised by the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, the MP for Central Honiara, making reference to an agreement signed between Prime Minister Albanese and I. That agreement has not actually been signed yet, but Australia has made a commitment to support us in terms of the police expansion, including recruitment exercise. But that agreement, just to clarify, I have not signed yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable MP for Central Honiara, Chair of PAC.
Thank you, sir. The other part of the constitutional arrangement of this ministry, which is national security, I don't seem to see budgetary provision for it. But I thought it's a very, very important aspect here for our country. National security, sovereign intelligence, as we move, intensively into this digital development that is going on right now. I think we really need to beef up our capacity in this space here. Is that something that the ministry, or perhaps with the office of the Prime Minister, you've been thinking seriously on, so that we can build up that capacity? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and me again thanking Chairman Blow PAC for that question. It is a very important question in terms of security, safety of the country, and protecting our sovereignty. We are actually putting specific budget law development component of next year's budget in law national security. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question on that head? Honourable MP for West Arare.
Thank you, Chairman. The agreement you waiting Australia Prime Minister was just informing the committee that I am not signing. No good by him no sign stay or some. When are you planning to have this signed so that I'm effective now? But Tintin Remain intentions. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman of the Bills and Legislation Committee, and a Member of Parliament for West Arare. No, work is ongoing, as Minister of Police and Kalem, although the agreement has not been signed. But part of what's supposed to be in the agreement, work am already about start now in terms of consultation, for example, consultations and work on the police training college, for example, to be funded by Police Academy, to be funded by Australia. So the work on those and continue. But the agreement, I am not signed. The agreement, it was delayed because the work on our national security strategy, I'm not ready at that time, last year. So it wasn't assigned because the Ministry of Police would like to ensure that the priorities law law security, they must consistent with the national security strategy. So that is why the agreement was signed. But ongoing collaboration, work with Australia and continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to thank you, Prime Minister, for that clarity. Question law, Minister, no Chairman, law accounting code 22517, law page 317, others, local others costs. Hemi para increase pikir me just like for Minister Hemi inform committee number what na Hemi actually law there where cost Hemi cover others local other costs. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'd like to thank him too. Chairman of Parliamentary House Committee. Let me identify him now, here. If I may call on the leader for repeating na accounting code, I'm on page 317, which accounting code na yes. Okay, I think I have found it here. Yes, sir, this particular increase and for meeting now the local travel cost for supporting project building assessment and asset recording, monitoring and evaluation blow Yumi next year now that budget hemi for. We are actually way behind in terms of monitoring na the assets Yumi, including infrastructure throughout Lord provinces. And we continue to have pressure in terms of request for establishing what important infrastructure around the country Yumi. It also includes a wide range of consultation, look at policies Yumi, like for example, one I may just talk about him earlier, a police expansion program. There are certain bills too. For Yumi workload, amending Police Act, and this will actually require a lot of traveling, and so that's how the increase may come about to meet all necessary traveling costs locally. Hemay no wasiya around him country in the Solomon Island now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Central Hornier.
Thank you, sir. Sir, and again, me like for refer the attention of the committee to the various agreements that have been signed with other MSG member countries, the side law, is it police cooperation or security arrangement treaty that we have with them. I think most recently, Prime Minister, you signed something with Fiji, I think, yeah. With Fiji in the margins of the TIF. We may have some standing arrangement with Papua New Guinea. But just looking at the recurrent no more, are there established arrangement that we have, to be able to develop understanding ongoing, and as and when we need them, we can call for their deployment. In our budget, maybe if you could, explain to the committee no more, or is that something that in part of the constitutional proviso that the Commissioner of Police under the Constitution and the Police Act is given to be able to request out of the consolidated fund? There were enough first part. The other part, law correctional services. In relation to parole board, I've seen that there is some slight increase in the parole board. I think we need to have a look at activating the functions of the parole board, because budget Lorasin can go up for no. If you look Lorasin budget, jump 5, 6, 7 million. Now next year it's going down. So if it is going down next year, are you anticipating some intervention to be made by the parole board? I think, Minister, let's make use of that provision. There are some of our prisoners or the inmates playing below there. I think over time have developed some better character development. So bring more to come back to the community. Bring them back to the community. Bring them back to their family. I think they can make a lot of improvement. I'm sure that you will understand some years ago, 10 years ago, we have done some exercise on the parole board, and then we were able to get out some 30 or so people out into their family. I think one Valnoma him returned back to the Lothe, but it was a very successful exercise that was carried out. So suppose you take a motor out, come, bring them back to their community, rushing by go down, and also I think they will develop better passion, with them back into the community. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'd like to thank the Chairman of the PAC and MP for Central Onera for a very important observation on how you can able for effectively managing with the law enforcement agencies in relation to what patrol boats below Yumi. I am taking note of that. At the moment, most operational costs with patrol boats below Yumi are actually supported by our development partners. But going forward into the future for sustainability below the operations here, and so critical that you may look at policies in terms of how well you are managing the assets below you. In terms of the cost, that's very true, an increase of at least 5 million for Russians. That one, maybe costs were go towards now with the correctional centers will be throughout the provinces and Honiara. And so that's something that can continue for increase, which indicating increase blow with the inmates now. In relation to parole board, that's a good recommendation. Since I came into the ministry, there are a couple of recommended names that go through processes clarifying that they are ready to go and reintegrate back communities. We actually took action to ensure that would go reintegrate peacefully within what communities blocked. But we are taking note of that recommendation. Currently, we are working within correctional services below Fiji to see if people can learn from experiences lo kata lo bring in la people that serve lo sell, especially those that serve him lifetime, for looking how they can be reintegrated, not only for go stay long, but be able to be productive too. And that will come along with him, or programs CSSI running, like joinery, bakery, agriculture, but all this requiring now funding support. And we will see to it how best by UMISRI securing funding for supporting now with the programs that by supporting what inmates believe reintegrate back the communities in a productive and peaceful way. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, PAC Chair. This whole idea for reintegrating with the form inmates come to community. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Lo before this whole place cemetery lo there, botanical garden, every stream go Kasim Bench Creek. Every place the clean go Kasim inside the forest. Government museum what inmates for cleaning. A clean place to me. Government go to take photo for the stream here. Or the wedding photos, botanical garden. Or the place at this time, or the wedding photo, me no sa when people go to do not this time. No in place of them. Me tell them this one because I'm one for important start up for reintegrate. Because what is doing work normal, but me no sabe whether me go ahead lo doing this one here, question blow me. But another aspect lo too, Mr. Chairman. Lo before too, one for stuck one, but 2-3 val me meet him over there. What inmate come out. You check about I think 2-3 days no more go inside more. Him go stop, come out more. So you ask him how now you in and out here. Go him say, man, lo inside lo there a little bit good here. Outside lo no matter tayo kay lo there this time inside lo prison this time fresh meat. Me no say for you go inside, but man place para good here. So him go sem sakal let's come out, Mr. Chairman. So by reintegration here, by the current problem lo kay lo house here because some house blame me him now noodle no more. That one now miss. But reintegration here lo side lo time what stop lo there yet. What kind of programs now we involve them for what are familiar with them community and little bit what some imi ko pass lo imi say hello lo kind of same time what that kind of program where we clean up cemetery and what stream now me like sabe imi do meet or by no mana. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and me thank you, my good friend Rami, Chairman Law Parliamentary House Committee MP for Small Malaita. I think one thing that you may by understand now is the evolving security environment that you'll be governing now. So, okay, let them go and clean up the public. That we do not do now. That maybe in the past, easy population, small, and if inmates go clean up lot drain, you by have to run away because no stuck people. Our security environment nowadays may change, and we do not do that. But most of the reintegration program, one and through our church programs, they are church-based organizations that actually go and conducting Bible studies, worship. But also with him, we have our officers where we assess him now, lifestyle blue people day in and out. It is not easy because taka people balak out too as balak behave good and maybe time out of the like rienta. I'm not too sure whether I'm true that environment there and food there is more better than outside. That I will leave it to anyone like tribe by himself, a good tribe there. But I have visited our correctional service, and it will be good. As leaders, if you like go, you talk Savelomi, I can arrange a time for you, me everyone. Go and look in the environment inside. Personally, I wouldn't want to go there. But other reintegration program that he usually done law CSSI, as I have said, skill transfer involving what inmates into doing joinery at the moment, bakery, and law tetere. We have some basic agricultural product, but these are done within confined area where security is provided. That's what has happened at the moment. We are consulting with Fiji because I think in the case of Fiji, I would actually go out to communities. That is something we are working closely with them to see if we can have such program, but based on our context, Blue Solomon Island, and our environment too. I think I'm not going to say a comment, but thank you for those observations.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Central Chair, PAC.
Thank you, sir. No, I think all of Fiji am right, but some years back, the rating, the UN detention rating, yeah, you mean better than Fiji? We are far better than Fiji, I must say. The Fiji, hey, there are certain level of security arrangement that ought to put in place even for the faith-based ecumenical groups and so forth. We ought to go inside or send for visit Lord. So, me no like me for look outside. You me to look inside. You me say, there are groups that are working very well. That I'm sure, Minister, you are well aware of them. I think what you need for doing no more is to connect them with the parole board, because they have to be licensed properly with the parole board, and we need to have a parole board operating to be able to be part of the process for assessing now, possible candidates, that will be able to be released out of that, reintegrating into the community also. I think the experience in the past is that me sure. I think so. You will go back and then look record below that big group that you may release in before. Yeah, man, they did very well. Some of them have gone into business. Some will go train patere 2 years. But they are still officially prisoners, but prisoners of the wider community now. In that sense. So what are some of what they are now? I think you will need to look back and then maybe give them pardon straight now. Get them back into our community. If we have a good track record in the way that we are developing and give a second chance for our inmates here, I think we will have a better way of managing our correctional services here, I must say. So I'm now a little bit small thinking no more with that part. Yeah, you're not going to look far. You see more people blame inside. PS law, peace and reconciliation, man, I think I'm a good candidate for parole board, yeah? I would recommend, say, this guy is excellent for parole board. Man, me sure him, do a very good job for parole board. But it would be good, lo side lo budget no more, if more if next year you may down in Mogota and then increasing task blow parole board, and then we have a good number coming out lo for the correctional centers below Yumia, Rasimia budget by go down. At the moment, I think everybody is really enjoying themselves over there. Ice cream what kakaim there too, I think. Yeah, awesome. So, you look on normal number there and increase. So the next question is this: what's the total population within now, or number of people in charge of correctional centers below Milo country? Have you done a little bit of assessment, those that are possible candidates for parole, which ones not possible for pardon, and so that we know exactly what's the total population that we are dealing with, because it would be good to see 6-7 million lower there throughout the country. Big number. Before I used to see only 900,000, 1 million or something. This time I am 7 million. So, maybe Minister, you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Chairman Blow PAC, for your observations. They are very truthful observations. We, as much as possible, we would like to see that the policy directions you may take in the way you may govern our both policing and the correctional services and based on our context and involving people and organization whilst you may also look outside, so we appreciate that. Now, in terms of your question, unfortunately, midogaran na data blomi in terms of the numbers we have on the green line were ready to be recommended, or those at the orange, probably the next group that are ready for the parole board deal with. But I can assure this House that our existing parole board will be active. And so far, I think 3 falana, me remember, that I have signed off after recommendation from parole board, but they are individual. A good recommendation, I am come to look at a big group that will require us to work, have a look at it, and we must prepare, Chairman, so that when we take that action, it must also come within costing and program in the way of very integrate within our community, and that might also involve in cross-sectoral approach, look at the research sector and productive sector, so that you may empower them to be productive in their communities. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable MP for Eastern Are.
Thank you, Chair. Just on correctional services, there was this fellow program on Netflix about most dangerous prisons in the world, or then you may featured inside now of this fellow Netflix documentary. I just wanted to know whether that was something approval given process for that kind of documentary that was done, and how much now you may earn how much now government am earning from what the kind of documentary or something. Good one, by you looking, by you this. I think no need for go in watching no more documentary, then you might how na him inside of there. But just wanted to know in terms of processes for these kinds of documentary, and how much now you may, if any, you may gain from documentary. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and we'd like to thank you, Chairman Blow, Foreign Relations Committee for that question. I will say that me aware of that documentary, but how me go recorded and come up, me fellow ministry not aware and granting permission for go. I don't deny the footage and presentation and we done, and now got to do reporting but we are trying our best to ensure that you may comply with him international standard in the way you may govern him, the correctionals may you may. And our report and the way you may by measure him status of our correctional service will be based on the common UN international standard on the way you may manage him correctional blame. Datala footage and I mean if any say sanction or not, but I'm aware that there's a footage which I cannot comment on it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Eastern Are.
Thank you. A little bit concerning, Nama, that you are not aware, Minister, of this one. I had assumed that you are aware. So the process would be come through correctional services directly, I guess. In terms of Netflix, they would have just come directly to warden or normal, they're not garam access, because if you, I don't know whether you've been watching Finish, but money actually spend them overnight there. So we're really experiencing now. This fella, dangerous, one of the dangerous, how about the Salem, one of the dangerous prisons in the world. So how not process for this kind of happen and go stay inside prison now with some fella prisoners blame me and shooting this fella documentary. The permission would have been through warden, not necessarily yourself, Minister. That normally like a clarification. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Chairman Blow, Public Relations Committee, for that follow-up question. I will say that it is so unfortunate that people come and commercialize in the recording and then sell records of our correctional. In short, ministry we work on for investigating chairman how na ogada ended up into who give him approval for ended up go and doing recording and all this. And at the moment, what I can say at the moment, I think as far as security Blue Union concerned, any entry they must follow strict protocol. And we are actually giving instruction to see who not give him permission law for go inside law safely.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Central Honiara.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that is really concerning now that, the Minister himself wasn't briefed by the Commissioner of Correctional Service about that, because it actually came out in the, it's gone out already, yeah? So you try for look into this. That is why I raised the issue about this national security. Because, if we really beef up our capacity on national security and national intelligence, which is not just an internal security, civilians on our situation, but look into broader security issue, Blongo, Solomon Islands. I think we would be in a position to be able to detect him now, these kind of activities that have been carried out in our country by our foreigners here and others who may have been tasked by other bodies here. Chairman, I think, Minister, you need for really take note of this one here, then you check and commissioner on it. Suppose over every statutory positions here, little bit fall short of their responsibility, you must take an action and then held them to account for their actions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Chairman. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and me take note of comment, Chairman, PAC. As I have said, we cannot compromise our national security and sovereignty, and everything that have evolved around in those, we must ensure that will remain protect him, and this, and not only the ministerial level, but importantly, local agencies below me. And so I do take note of that, and we will continue to ensure MIFLA come to a conclusion of that investigation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. And with that, let me now put the question. The question is that, sorry, Honourable MP for East Choiseul.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for probably the Ministry of Minister of Finance not to take note. This is on the revenue side, although, Mr. Chairman, you mean by voting no more about the hedgeable expenditures, so nothing really should hold the government down, even if you're going to collect that amount. But in terms of how the figures might look like, we travel any market figures yellow or the revenue. We may not. The question arises whether which department longo police now by collecting 2,420,200 because the headquarter by collecting estimating 10,000, fire 69,340. Royal Somnolence Police Force, 2,913,660, that adds up to 2,993, 2,993,000. Now that gives us a difference of $2,420,200, which I'm not clear which ministry now, by which department law or police now by collecting that amount, that revenue. Although you hear me voting on my heads or expenditure heads, and I appreciate nothing should hold the government down. There's nothing stopping us from voting for this head. It's just for clarification. We might not be able to collect $2 million.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Choiseul. Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Chair, and thank the MP for East Choiseul for that observation. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, also with the number of ministries, there are some areas, especially now it's also up here with the Ministry of Police, especially income. I think that also in relation to the revised budget. And so we, in fact, once this bill passed by, the proper printing, which is the team is working on it now by also, but we confirm that there are some errors with that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Central Honourable PAC.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, we have gone through some variances along the heads here, and I've got a note on that has gone to the Minister of Finance also. Which I think triple head has been identified. Head 16 is one of them. But what I've noted there, basically the difference in the recurrent number, which I think it will be corrected. But this is on the revenue or the income, which am affecting now the flow into the development budget and also the actual gap in the fiscal provision where we go in charity or revenue. So it might make a lot of difference to you if quite a number of heads have gotten that differences, and then they all add up to, say, for instance, non-tax, because we've dealt with the tax revenues already under finance, but these are most non-tax here. Then it will make a difference along deficit here, emotion. It will make a difference on the deficit. So that's quite another thing more for you need for really good law. And so, Chairman, I suggest that maybe Minister of Finance, you stop a little bit and go through this one here, because 5 million and 2 million recorded in here, I have no end up there. That's why I asked the Minister, you need to go and reconcile it with them now, revenue here. And East Choiseul have actually supported that as well too. So. Chairman, but make a difference here. It will be a huge difference because these are the revenues that you consider as whether or not the size of that gap here or deficit here, but remain the same or by change or what now am available from recurrent to the developments.
Honourable Minister, Mr. Finance.
Thank you, Chair. And, thank you, Chair of PAC. I think I'm repeating that now it's up in the income, but according to the advice now that Baham doesn't have the bill, so I think that's because it's up in the bricks, which is as you spotted, but according to the advice given to me that I'm not really not affecting the bill. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. The issue here is that we are voting on the schedule, and the schedule is to do with that. And how would that affect the schedule?
Well, we are quite agree that it will not affect the schedule because we are just voting on the expenditure in the schedule, but it will make a huge difference to the level of deficit. So I think, we can proceed with it.
But that would be probably a matter that will be referred back to the government to fix, and then it becomes an operational issue thereafter for the execution of the budget.
I think the schedule will not be affected. I mean, because we are just basically voting on the expenditure. So the expenditure figure. But it will make a difference on the revenue projection. So it's up to the minister how to fill him in that gap. So the deficit will not be as what I'm reporting. It will be even bigger, I must say. So our recommendation has been that there has been some, unaccounted pressures, so I'm still within that recommendation law, PAC number. Thank you, sir. We can proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair of PAC. I think we can proceed on confirming that although the errors in the brick, but we confirm that the bills in relation to income and expenses, it's not affecting the bill. So we thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Now, with the committees and members' indulgence, let me now put the question. The question is that the sum of $407,505,404 for head 16 stand part of the schedule. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The sum of $407,505,404 for head 16 now stands part of the schedule. And with that, the committee is now going to be interrupted, and we'll suspend the proceedings of the committee and we'll resume at 2 o'clock to continue with the consideration of the committee on the budget. Thank you.